I'm Thomas Bell, Communications Director for South Surrey White Rock Minor Softball Association. Here with me today is Mr. Austring. Arne is a 30-year softball veteran. He's an umpire, and he's our association's Umpire-In-Chief.
Welcome. Glad to be here and give you a bit of an insight on what an umpire does for South Surrey White Rock Minor Softball.
Now, Arne, you've been an umpire for a very long time, but maybe you could tell us a bit about what life was like before you became an umpire.
I started as a player, playing hardball in my teens in the late 50s and 60s. My father umpired when I was playing. I did have about a 10-year time off, but in my around age 30 I got involved and have been umpiring. This is my 32nd season.
And what do you like most about being an umpire?
Mostly the people, the newer umpires, new and newer umpires, the third team on the field, the blue crew. I love the game. You have to have an enjoyment, a love for the game, a passion for it, and the people connected with it. The ball strikes, safes, outs are the same as they were when I was a player.
After 30 years, I'm sure you have a lot of really interesting stories to tell. But what would you say is your most important or most memorable event?
Well, as I mentioned, each year, each season starts new with new and newer umpires. I enjoy that very much. I did have the privilege of working the World Masters event in Sydney, Australia in 2009. There were 192 teams. At the World Masters, softball was second only in soccer to the number of participants. It was a huge event, very enjoyable, a lot of fun. I loved Australia.
Now, I think everyone knows what an umpire is, but what exactly is an umpire-in-chief?
It's basically an administration position in that for registration, occasionally you are a liaison between coaches and or the umpires, but it's mostly for the development and helping the new and newer umpires. Also working with the more senior people to gain some experience, also give them some experience.
Now, I imagine that you need certain levels of certification to be an umpire or an umpire-in-chief. What levels of certification do you have?
Softball Canada has 5 levels in their certification program. All new and newer umpires start at level 1, and with 2 or 3 years of experience, most will move on to a level 2 certification. The difference is they get a little deeper into rules. There's a higher expectation of knowing the rules other than just the basics. Mm-hmm. But it's also working towards moving up the certification process. By level 3, which is usually a 6, 8 to maybe 10-year experience level, you're capable or in position to move into provincial playoffs and potentially even national playoffs. I'm a working level 3, although I've done the level 4 technical side, the technical certification, and I'm just recently completed the evaluators and educators course, which again will hopefully give me some more tools to work with the new and newer umpires.
Now, I understand that a person can become an umpire even at the age of 12. How does somebody become an umpire?
Connect through the association, and whether it's the website, phone calls. We start very early in the new year, soon after New Year's, with gymnasium sessions. We start to work with mechanics, the simple ball strikes, safes, outs, but also the positioning that umpires should be getting themselves into position. Coaches are always making a trying to get their players to move on every pitch, anticipate what you're going to do with the ball. Umpires should be doing the same thing. They should be anticipating where the play may be. There are 4 basics that they are still to follow. The ball is the primary indicator. You have to know where the ball is, then the base, offense, and finally the defense. So those are the 4 basics that we work on right from the beginning of the gymnasium sessions.
Now, obviously, not everyone is well suited to become an umpire, or you never know what kind of circumstance that they'll have to deal with. What kind of advice would you give to somebody that's just considering becoming an umpire?
I guess patience initially, because the chance that the calls are going to be bang on right to start with isn't realistic. So to try and learn the rules the best you can, to have a working knowledge of them. That is probably the biggest piece of advice. And with coaches especially, you don't have a lot of pressure, most of the time do not have a lot of pressure from players. From coaches, you do have to have them have their say. You have to let them vent even sometimes. You have to appear to be listening to what they're saying, but it will reach a point where hopefully the umpire was in the correct position, the mechanic was correct, which puts them in the correct position, and then delay your call because you have to see the play, then make your decision, and then make your call. The closer the call, often the more emphasis you'll put into your voice, for the reason that you are trying to show confidence or that you are comfortable, and there's no doubt in your mind that no one should be able to make a comment that you were undecided. You have to show confidence in that call.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, umpires have to make a lot of close calls, and sometimes they're at a critical point in the game where it could affect the outcome. And in most cases, it seems that there's always somebody, a participant, a player, a coach, or sometimes even a parent that objects to the call. What do you suggest that an umpire can do to help improve their eyesight?
Improving their eyesight.
No.
No, I understand, and it goes back to the basics of mechanics. If you have yourself in the proper position, there are actually even prescribed distances that are recommended for the different levels of calls, and with justification. If you're too far away, it's going to be a little harder to see. If you're right on top of it, it can also be a little bit too, you can be a bit too close. Mm-hmm. So mechanics are the basics of it, and then delay your call, as I mentioned, and then if it's close, show confidence in that call. And that's the biggest part of it, is to try and exude that confidence, that you are comfortable in that call.
Now, particularly with a close call, they can bring out a lot of emotion in people. You can get players and coaches and fans and parents that get rather upset.
Yes.
And some of them probably even verbally vent their frustration. How do umpires deal with verbal abuse?
It sounds easy, and it's not to deal with, especially with the fans, with parents. You try to tune them out. You try to not listen. You try to have small ears, as we call it. But there are times that it does become frustrating. With the coach, again, you do have to listen to what their challenge is, and they may have a legitimate issue. There will be times that not a decision is reversed. You never reverse or change a call, but you are in a position occasionally to confer with the other umpire or umpires, as the case may be, and if somebody had a better angle, somebody had a different angle on it, you may make the call right. You may have the call corrected. And so again, you have to listen to the people, but again, if you're confident in your call, coach, you've had your say, let's play ball.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously you've been behind the plate for a lot of games, probably more than you can remember.
Way too many.
But what would you say, obviously you're a fan of the game, what would you say is your most favorite or your element of the game of fast pitch?
Favorite element, just a love of the game, a passion for the game, the pace. I like the pace. You don't get breaks between the periods, etc. The innings continue. I enjoy working with the people. I enjoy working with the fellow umpires and the players and coaches also. It's just a passion for the game.
So you've been a player, you've been an umpire. You're an umpire-in-chief. What's next for Arne?
Having just done this certification with the evaluator and educator program, I hopefully have some more tools to work with the new umpires and help develop some of the people in their mid to late teens as they get more experience.
Well, softball can certainly make a positive difference in the lives of young people, and after speaking with you, I can see that it can also deliver a lifelong passion.
It can.
So thank you for speaking with me today, and on behalf of South Surrey White Rock Minor Softball Association, thanks for watching.